And that's the big picture of what we're looking to do in our training series here, as well as in our Breakthrough to Success live programs. And by the way, the live program, this is the surprise, one of the surprises I've had for you. The live program has been so successful. Now we're letting you in on a little secret. We're right now about to launch a complete online version of Breakthrough to Success, because we figured we wanted anybody at any corner of the planet to be able to do this, because that's where we make the most transformation, is where we can serve people the best. You know, when we can get out there and we can get people like Phil that can actually go through the entire process and watch the videos over and over again. It gives them even more access. Matter of fact, we've got 17 hours, get this, 17, this is our 3-day seminar for the first time. I never thought I'd release this to the public. 17 hours of videos in the online version of Breakthrough to Success that's about to launch. It's not launched yet, but we're very, very excited about that process because it allows us to deliver the tools around the world. So, big picture concept once again, where we are, where we want to be, what's stopping us, what's holding us back. You know, and I know I've used a lot of examples around money, but I don't want you to think that this concept is just about money. This concept you can use for anything, you know, in your life. You know, if you're in a relationship that's just not working for you. We had a couple that came into our Breakthrough to Success live program, Prue and Warren. And when they came in, her name was Prue, his was Warren. When they came in, they were having a lot of problems inside their relationship, and they were at the brink of breaking it off. And they told me about this long after the weekend, but they discovered during the weekend, just as you will in the live or now in the online program, the processes that are taught in Breakthrough to Success to help you identify the sources of constraint, even if you're not aware of what they are. So Prue and Warren discovered during the weekend that Warren had a limiting belief that he was too old to be in this relationship. And Prue had wanted to create a fabulous relationship, and she wanted children, which Warren also didn't want. So what happened was they came into the weekend, they experienced the same processes that we now teach both offline as well as online. And they were able to break through their limiting beliefs. They were able to negotiate their feeling about children and about the future. And they were able to put compelling goals in the future, which we also teach in our Breakthrough to Success program. And I'll talk about that in a second, why that's so important. And most importantly, when Prue and Warren, when they got married, they came out and we teach an advanced program called Billionaire Boot Camp twice a year in these exotic locations around the world. But they got to celebrate their honeymoon with us at Billionaire Boot Camp because they got married just before the program. So that was fabulous. And you know, I get to hear these stories all the time and time again, about people literally going in and cleaning out both at the conscious level as well as the unconscious level, everything that would stop them from making their life the way that it could be and getting massive propulsion forward. Because when you can align your conscious intentions, it's important, with your unconscious resources, you can change the whole world in the flash of an eye. This is what gives you true power. And I'm so proud of these courses because people have had such an incredible time as they come through. But the concept that I want you to get right now is this whole concept of awareness being this first step to change. And once you clarify where you are, then you've got to get clear on where you want to be. Real easy. What's the final step? How will you know when you got it? Do you want to go out and launch a business? Do you want to buy an island? Do you want to own your own airplane? Do you want to get a promotion in the job you're currently in? What is it that you want? What's that final step, the final thing that has to happen? And then once you've got the goal in mind, we can literally implant it at the unconscious level. And this is an important part because they say that in life, we don't get what we want, we get what we expect. Most of us, you included, have unconscious expectations of the future. For you, that means financially, physically, emotionally, spiritually. You have some sort of an expectation of what awaits you out there, an unconscious expectation, based upon what you're doing and what you're thinking and believing in the now. But get this, the future is like a liquidy, plasticky substance that can be molded and shaped the way you choose. The way you take charge of the future is to take charge of what you're doing, thinking, and believing right here, right now. And the question becomes, how do we do that? The answer is accelerated change technologies. So now, what we'll do is we'll put a goal out into the future so that you can move compellingly toward that goal. You know, it's kind of like when I think about myself going on a stage to present to thousands of people, I used to be focused on not being nervous. Well, it's hard to focus on not being something, so instead I was really focused on being nervous, in which case I wound up nervous. The moment I thought, okay, not this, but this instead, let me look at what I want. I wanted connection. I wanted warmth. I wanted the connection. The moment my feet hit the stage, I wanted to feel warm and connected with the people I was communicating with. I'll try that one, tongue twister. Or the person that I'm communicating with. An instant connection, and I got it. So that's one example from my own life, but the same thing happened with my finances. When I got really clear that there was a problem, I had to do something about it. The next question is, what did I want? What did I want to create? Okay, and once you got it clear on what you want to create, then the question is, well, what resources do I have? Here's a good question to ask yourself. What resources would you have now that could help you in the accomplishment of your goal? And it could be internal resources like power or strength, or external resources. It could be maybe you've got the money to make it happen. Maybe you've got the time, or you've got the flexibility in your schedule. Or maybe you don't have the money. Maybe that's a resource that you don't feel like you have, or you don't feel like you don't have, or you don't feel like you have the time, or you don't have the flexibility. That's the flip side of the coin. So what resources do you have, and what resources do you need? Clarifying both of these things are very important, and any other barriers to your success. Then we can get to work to making the change. A lot of which we do inside the Breakthrough to Success program, and which I've mentioned, as well as on the online version soon to launch. The program has been the start of many a person's change. My good friend Chris Gibson ended up losing 52 kilos. Now, he's got a rather famous brother named Mel. And they're both from Australia. And so he was always living in the shadow of his older brother. But he ended up, after he went through the program, losing 52 kilos. He was an alcoholic when he came in. He stopped drinking just like that. One day he decided, this is it, I'm done. And he stopped drinking. He had been an alcoholic before that. And he had literally torn his family apart. And he said to me later, after he'd been through the program, and he went to a couple of other courses as well, where he learned how to communicate effectively with people. And he said, Chris, he said, the best part of everything is not all the money I'm making now. He says, not the fact that I just wrote this book, and I'm on this whole book circuit that's just wild. I'm on all the major talk shows. It's not the fact that I've repaired my relationship. He says, that every night when I kiss my daughter goodnight, and she says, I love you, Daddy, when before she didn't even want to talk to me, he said, that's worth 10 times what I've ever paid for all the courses that I've taken with you, just for that one result. And honest to God, he probably paid about $15,000, $16,000 or more for courses through us over the years. But, you know, to hear a story like that, he says it's worth 10 times that. I get it. And that's why I do what I do. That thrills me more than anything in the world. So for today, for this lesson, what I want you to take is, we can't change something until we become aware of it. Awareness is the first step to change. You may need to get leverage with yourself and be honest. You know, what's going to be the cost if you don't make this change? And ultimately, how are you going to benefit if you do make the change? And when you do? And then finally, where is it that you want to be? Because that gives you momentum toward a compelling future. Next, we're going to be talking about how to work with your unconscious mind to blast through the barriers that you have between you and your goals for the future. So until the next video, love deeply, shine brightly, and make every day an extraordinary adventure.